Hello people! Today I'm going to be showing you how I draw my SSP Tediz webcomic. I use three programs, Flash, MS Paint, and Photoshop. I'm using CS5 Flash, which normally I use Macromedia Flash 8, which is a really old version of Flash. Well, here I go. Starting off, there's my canvas. I don't really work with a wide canvas, so I usually start with a 500 by 500 pixel canvas. And as you can tell, I'm going really super fast. That's because I time-lapsed it by ×4, so don't be scared if I'm talking really slow and I'm drawing really fast. I'm not some sort of savant. I usually use two layers. The first layer I use the sketch base of the character. As you do. There we go. Normally when I draw the base, I don't really care much for the leg width, the girth of the leg, because they're always wearing these long overcoats. Any character wearing a long overcoat, I don't really care for the leg width. But I do care of how long a forearm, or whatever the part of the arm, whatever arm that is, was long. Right here, I didn't really know what to do with the other arm, so I guess I'm going to make them be pointing up, because there's something up there. Up there, everywhere, and there we go. Usually, nowadays, when I draw the base sketch, I'm thinking, hey, that head is way too big. Well, here I go, drawing the fine lines of the character. I use a different color than black. I usually use black for the base and colors for the fine lines. I start with my cat's messing with my necklace. I usually start with the nose and the muzzle part first. I resize it because I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my art. Like I said, it takes me several tries to get this eye done. Too big, too narrow. For some reason, changing the color to blue makes me draw it better. See, only took 2 tries for that eye and 4 tries for that eye and fixing up that eye. Okay, there we go. We're done with the eyes. I'll make the mouth. They always have 3 teeth. Make the other side of the face. Make the eyelid thingies that's underneath their eyes. Make the collar. As you can tell, they're drawing the torso. I'm sorry I'm being so quiet. I'm watching my cat, make sure he doesn't get into anything. I usually make the coat overlap the belt. The belt's usually in the middle or 2/3 of the torso. I always draw their man dresses because I don't know how to draw a regular old trench coat. The sleeve will take me several tries, so I'm going to take the moment here to say the song you're hearing right now is what Mike whipped up in FL Studio. He called it the SSP Tediz theme song remix, which really, I don't know why he's calling it the theme song of the SSP Tediz when really it's a song. It's I believe it's called Daklid, something, an old World War II German song for the African corps of the German army. I'm making the helmet. It takes me several tries. Like I said, everything, I'm trying to make this whole entire thing perfect. I drew the helmet blue so that'll overlap the red, so that when it'll be easier to delete the red lines. See, there we go. I deleted the red lines. I leave the top of the eyes to show where I'm going to be putting the eyelashes, the eyebrows. Here I use the Dibbin brows. The reason why I call them the Dibbin brows is because what I always draw, when I draw myself, I usually give myself those eyebrows. So, okay, there we go. Looking fancy right there. Now time for the other arm. Here, when I draw the collar, I usually work with what's best. The collar looks a little thick, so I thin it out. There we go. And now time for the fun part. This arm, this hand. When recording this hand gave me a lot of trouble. As you can you're about to see with this finger here. It'll take me several tries and several seconds will go by, and mind you, this is time-lapse times 4. Yep. Soon I got really sick of this and I stopped recording until I got it done. I got what I think was a perfect, well, a passable finger, and I started recording again. See, here I go, resizing up the finger so that'll fit, deleting some excess lines. Okay, there we go. Adding nails, talons, claws, whatever you want to call them. They're anthropomorphic animals, which means I'm a furry apparently, since I draw anthropomorphic animals. I mean, what qualifies me as a furry? Why am I even talking about this? I'm trying to narrate this. Usually when I want to do the pupils, I usually take a shot every time I say usually. I use the dot and then resize it up and then a little wide, but because CS5 is a dick when it comes to resizing and all that crap, I decided to draw them out like that. And now I add the wrinkles and the fine lines. Why do I add fine lines to fine lines? That's a little oxymoron. The fuzz on the cheeks, the lip. This I actually draw in to help me with coloring later. Here I go, adding on extra more lines. I noticed that there was a lot of empty space here, so I decided to use it for something. There we go. Yeah, SSP Tediz is number 2. Compared to the other webcomic that's based off of the dead video game that's dying. Here I go, I start a new frame to show you of how I draw a comic. When I draw another panel that consists of the same character, I usually just draw him again, slightly different. But this time I decided to fool around and... Okay, I noticed that I forgot the details of the neck, so I went back to fix that. Here I go back again, making this masterpiece called Art. I was trained by Leonardo da Vinci. He said, "Hey, you better just do whatever." That was super racist how I tried to sound Italian. I'm probably going to get attacked by an Italian today because of how racist. It's like anyone's going to see this. I bet you all but 2 people are going to see this video. Here we go, drawing again. This time more masterful. My God. Who needs illegible words when you have scribbles? See, I can see that it still says SSP Tediz is number 1. Okay, here I go. I'm trying to find where to save it at, which I used a designated folder that I made before recording. There I showed you all the folders of the SSP Tediz work, which I'm not going to really go into because it's probably spoiler. Which I highly doubt, because there's a lot of art. A lot of stuff in those folders are already out there on DeviantArt. That's why I hate CS5. They just mess it up. It's super hard to work with. Okay, now I start with the color. I go in, go find a old reference, any reference, and so I just use that character's green coat as a reference because they all wear the same damn coat with the same damn palette. Do some fine lining right there. I adjust some purple for the under eye thing. When it comes to nose, someone said, "Hey, you need to give a character a purple nose." Well, guess what? I gave a character a purple nose. I forgot what that person's name was. I'm sorry, but this time I'm drawing. Well, this is usually the palette. A brown for the primary color, a lighter tannish brown for the secondary color. Usually I go with a blue nose, but this time I went with purple. I went with yellow eyes. I always go with yellow eyes. That's the character. It's usually it's actually a lime green color in game, but I use yellow because that looks nice. I add some shading and lighting to the eyes and only to the eyes. Everything else can just go to hell. Actually, I add the lighting to the nose too, you can see. Here, this is what I do when it comes to those single white pixels. I just make the background orange and add brown to the whites that I want. Here we're going on to the next step. The final step is Photoshop, which I want to get rid of this orange background. So I make the background transparent and get rid of the orange since it doesn't collide with anything else. Here I go. I need a unique background, something that makes the picture passable in my eyes. So instead I use the Evil Within lockers that I used in book 2 of the MS Paint version. I flipped it just to show that, hey, this is apparently a new background and I'm not reusing background, so therefore I'm not lazy. Which therefore, whatever you just saw is null and void. I try to make the guy stand out, the character stand out from the background by adding a stroke and a outline, which kind of worked, so I then try to make the background darker, so now he's standing out perfect. And now time for I add the secret fur technique that I add on all my furry characters, my sexy furry yiffy characters. And now time to rename it since I finished. So since I said SSP Tediz is number 1, I named it Ain't That the Truth because I'm a very humble human being. And there we go. If you enjoyed this, leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't, and go check out my comic, probably in the description. So here's the final product. Enjoy it.